We have a major New York Yankees Cody Bellinger update that'll have a massive impact on multiple different MLB free agent first basemen who the New York Yankees are also now talking to and in conversations with to sign a potential deal, including some stars, some veteran former stars, but all guys who could hold down the position as Brian Cashman looks to solidify the first base position with a veteran who knows what he's doing, and we're going to break this all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Yankees Digest. It's Chris here. And if you guys like the content, make sure to subscribe. You guys have been killing it over the last month. We have 1.5 thousand new subscribers. That is unbelievable. Thank you so much. So if you guys like the content, make sure to stick with us and join the club. But guys, the New York Yankees, ever since they lost Juan Soto, have decided to go a multitude of different routes with players. Someone who they've been talking to consistently since the second Soto went to the Mets was Cody Bellinger. Now, it's been unclear which position the New York Yankees like Cody Bellinger at, whether it's the outfield or first base, but as time goes on, it apparently feels more and more like the Yankees want to play Bellinger at the first base position, which I think personally is a pretty interesting move. Now, I think Bellinger works better in the outfield. He's a great outfielder. It just makes a ton of sense, though he does play first base often. Bellinger's only 28 years old. I don't know why he's being treated like he's 34 or something. He's young. He could play the outfield. He's a good athlete. It just feels like you're using Cody Bellinger the best if he's in center field, and it gives Jasson Dominguez time to play a corner outfield position, which I understand is very different from center field, but Dominguez did struggle a bit coming out back into the outfield after returning off the torn UCL, so it might not be the worst idea to give him a year of left field before moving him into center field full time, and then having Bellinger, who's on a 2-year contract, move to first base more primarily in his second year with the Yankees, if the Yankees can get the trade done. Now, as we know, the Yankees and Cubs are at a stalemate right now because, well, neither team wants to pay Cody Bellinger's contract. The Yankees think that the Cubs should pay a good portion of it. The Cubs think the Yankees should pay all of it since they want Bellinger so badly. And now these teams are just kind of at a standstill. The Cubs want to move Bellinger. The Yankees want Bellinger. It's just a matter of price because Brian Cashman, what he wants is to not have the Yankees pay Bellinger so they could go out there and sign other talents also. The Yankees are talking to basically everyone, and that's been the case since Juan Soto left. The Yankees have been in talks with, obviously they landed Fried. They traded for Devin Williams. They still need to make a few more signings, and they do plan on making those signings. And you look at a guy like a Corbin Burns, who's still out there, most likely not going to be a Yankee, but someone the Yankees definitely do still have some interest in, and some other top free agents also, like Roki Sasaki, and they're going to need some scale positions that aren't pitchers. Now, as Bob Nightengale revealed, while the New York Yankees are at a stalemate with the Chicago Cubs for outfield/first baseman Cody Bellinger, they have turned their attention towards the first base market. They are engaged in talks with 4 free agent first basemen: Pete Alonso, Christian Walker, Carlos Santana, and Paul Goldschmidt. So a pretty interesting crew of guys that Brian Cashman is looking at right here. All of them are free agents. Now, all of them are different players. Paul Goldschmidt was an MVP 2 years ago, led the league in OPS that season. Kind of has fallen off a cliff since then. The man is 37 years old. His best days are behind him, but he can still give you something solid. Same thing with Christian Walker, or not same thing with Christian Walker, same thing with Carlos Santana, who's also 37 years old but can still field the ball very well. But we'll jump into that right now and kind of discuss all these guys. Now, Bellinger, he's who the Yankees want. He's a left-handed batter, and that gives the Yankees another lefty after the departure of Soto. Obviously, having Dominguez there is going to help also because he bats from each side, and the Yankees still also have interest in Anthony Santander, so he bats from both sides also as a switch hitter. So having 2 switch hitters would be kind of sick, though. I'd way rather Santander just have to learn how to play first base over Cody Bellinger. Santander's not a great outfielder, and he would have to be stuck in right field, which moves Judge either to left, which he's never really played before, or back to center field, which I hate when Aaron Judge plays center field. Does not make sense. Though I guess they did just make the World Series doing that, but also he dropped that ball, and as great as Aaron Judge is as an outfielder, the fielding portion of it, I mean, he's got a cannon of an arm, and the fielding portion is not bad. It leaves a little bit to be desired. We'd rather a better fielder in center field, like Cody Bellinger. Now, Bellinger, average hitter now, no longer the MVP he once was with the Dodgers, but he's still a solid player who gives you good fielding, and because he's a solid player who gives you good fielding, it's why I don't want him at first base. Why can't we have more than one thing? Why can't we get Bellinger for an outfielder, have the outfield be Cody Bellinger, Jason Dominguez, and Aaron Judge, and then sign a first baseman also? Especially if you can get the Cubs to take some of that money, that works out. Now, Christian Walker is the guy who many see as a likely target for the New York Yankees. Now, as mentioned by Brian Hodge, Christian Walker makes the most sense for the Yankees as a guy who will likely sign there. The Yankees seem like the front runners to sign Walker, and most likely that is what we're going to see happen. I would imagine Christian Walker is going to agree to the Yankees with a deal or on a deal very soon. Now, Walker, an above-average hitter, very, very good fielder. Won the last 3 Gold Gloves. I mean, when you get a guy like Max Fried on your team, to have Christian Walker as one of your infielders, even if he's your first baseman, is just so helpful to get an elite fielding first baseman, who also hit 26 home runs last year, had a solid batting average. Now, the contact is not the best, but it's not bad, and he had an OPS of 803 and an OPS plus of 121. Christian Walker's a very solid player who would fit in well with the Yankees, and I think most Yankee fans' minds, and none of us would be upset with him. The righty bat thing is a little bit annoying, but it's not the end of the world by any means. Christian Walker's a middle-of-the-order guy. You got some middle-of-the-order lefties you could figure out. I mean, Austin Wells will be batting 4th again. The problem is you then have Stanton, and if you have Walker after that, you're really going to have to put Dominguez after that, or around 7th, and then you probably need a lefty batting 9th as well, so Volpe would be 8th. You'd need a lefty at the end of the lineup also, assuming Jazz Chisholm's batting 2nd. But that's another conversation for another day when we're closer to the season and we see what this lineup looks like. Now, another right-handed batter is Pete Alonso. Now, Pete Alonso's not a great fielder at all, and he's pretty one-dimensional. He's there to rip the ball, and he does that well. 34 home runs last season with the New York Yankees. Might be able to increase that a little bit more. I mean, he's a 4-time All-Star. The man's a great, great, great power hitter and would be helpful to join the New York Yankees. I mean, he's not great for contact, and the Yankees need contact more than they need power, but getting Pete Alonso would be pretty helpful. He's a Tampa native, which does help the Yankees, funny enough, but he is a guy who the Yankees should be doing their due diligence into looking into. Also, because if you could spite the Mets, it's pretty funny at this point, just to kind of get them back for the Juan Soto stuff to a degree and take a guy who's loved from the New York Mets. Also, my friend once met Pete Alonso in a bar in Milwaukee and said he's really chill and can slug back beers, which is just cool. So I'm pro Pete Alonso. Now, Carlos Santana, former All-Star, Gold Glover, former Silver Slugger, not the same player he once was, but still hit 23 home runs and is a great fielder at first base, even in his older age. Now, he'd be a 1-year option for basically kind of a bridge guy for whether you're going to move Aaron Judge there sooner rather than later. Judge is 33 years old. He's only going to play the outfield for probably 2 more years at most before they transition him to first to protect that bat. So Santana might be the bridge guy for 1 year before the Yankees move Judge there a bit prematurely. So much of this just obviously depends on Cody Bellinger, though. I mean, Santana's a solid player. Like, as I said, 23 home runs, an OPS that's very league average at 749, literally .01 below average, and then an OPS plus of 109. I thought that was a 0 for a second, which is above average also. Look, Carlos Santana, fine player, fine fielder. It's not a move that you'd hate, but it's not a sexy signing. Like, it'll be fine. I mean, it's all right, but it's not going to be like, it's not a sexy signing at all. And with the Yankees, we want some flash. We want something nice here. Like, the Yankees need a little bit more to feel like true contenders after Soto left, in my opinion. Now, there's also the former MVP of just 2 years ago and the 4-time Gold Glover, 5-time Silver Slugger, 7-time All-Star Paul Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt's obviously not the same player he once was. His OPS took a massive dip this season, well below his career average. He only hit 22 home runs, which is below his career average. He's just not really the same player anymore, and it feels like he's a backup option who would also be a bridge guy just for someone else to come in. And there's also just such a world then that you're going to see guys like Ben Rice potentially, and even DJ LeMahieu sometimes even maybe steal starting spots from him. And DJ has not looked like he's got it anymore, and Ben Rice doesn't look like he's going to be some superstar after that 3 home run game. It felt like he just didn't find his groove after that, upsettingly. But Paul Goldschmidt, someone the Yankees will look at. It just feels like this is not the move. Like, let's not sign an old former MVP. Let's sign Christian Walker. Can we also just trade for Cody Bellinger and get the best of both worlds? Like, why not? I don't understand. Like, it bothers me that it feels like this first baseman situation predicates on if the Yankees can't trade for Cody Bellinger. Why can't the Yankees trade for Cody Bellinger, then toss out a lineup of they're still going to need a leadoff hitter somewhere. So they're going to have to find a leadoff hitter, but who's probably going to be a righty. Or it could even just be Jason Dominguez, honestly. And then you throw Bellinger, Judge, Wells, Stanton, Jazz, Walker. That's back and forth, left to right, outside of Dominguez if he's batting first because he's a switch hitter. That's a pretty nice top six. And then you just fling out Volpe in there. It's not a bad lineup. You still have to add a few pieces because it's unclear who the Yankees' third baseman is going to be this season. And they're going to have to figure that one out. And, I mean, it's really just figuring out who the third and first baseman are. But if you could just get Cody Bellinger and Christian Walker, then all you need is a third baseman. You have a full lineup, and it can afford to be a righty. You're not in left-handed batting debt anymore. So it just feels like the perfect position for the New York Yankees to go out there and get both. And they can afford to get both. I mean, Hal Steinbrenner's got the money. He could do that. He could acquire Bellinger, especially if the Yankees acquire Bellinger and don't have to pay all of his salary. That's huge. You then can pay Christian Walker a pretty penny for 3 years. You still are nowhere near the amount of money you offered for Juan Soto, so go out there and try to get Roki Sasaki on a massive deal. Try to see what Corbin Burns is up to. It sounds like the Giants are going to offer him, like, 9 years, $360 million. I don't think the Yankees are going to dance with that, but who knows? And on top of that, you also got a guy like Pete Alonso who... You're also, you have a little more leniency in going for him if you acquire Bellinger. I don't like the idea of Bellinger being a first baseman. I think it hinders how good he could be, especially for a team like the Yankees. They need another outfielder, Cody Bellinger. I understand center field is different from the corner outfield positions. I get that. But Cody Bellinger has shown he's a very, very, very good fielder, and I think he can handle it. But I do want to know what you guys think, so let me know down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Yankees.